everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video we have another Will I Buy It video. I know it's not that long ago since I last did one of these, which was a holiday special one, going through all the holiday sets that I had seen being released for this year. So there are lots of Will I Buy It videos out there. The main inspiration of this video is Samantha March, who does release a new Will I Buy It video every Wednesday. She does also have a community playlist which she created for people like myself and all of the creators to put their Will I Buy It videos into. So I will link Samantha's channel and also the community Will I Buy It playlist below to go and check that out. For this Will I Buy It or purchase or pass type video, I'm going to be going over the latest releases as I've seen from the Trends Mood One Instagram page, which I will link in the description box below. I do want to start trying to do this regularly if I can. As I only post 2 videos a week, I think it might be a bit much doing it weekly or fortnightly. So I thought I would try and do it once a month around the beginning of the month. On the day I'm filming this, it's currently Wednesday the 4th of December. So anything I've got here is as of this morning when I got my information together. And this is going up on Friday the 6th. So there probably will have been other releases that I've missed, but hopefully I've covered as much as I can and it isn't going to be too long of a video. And over the next coming months I should hopefully get in the swing of doing it, because it is a case that I'm going to have to film, edit and turn it around to upload quite quickly. So let's see how we get on. So first of all, I will start with a few products that I've seen as being available now, i.e. they've released in the last week or two. The first is from the brand Elf Cosmetics, which is a brand that I know and love and regularly purchase things from them. They are bringing out liquid glitter eyeshadows. They very much remind me of the ones from Stila and numerous other brands that have done them since. But the main difference between these and the Stila ones is that they are a lot more affordable. They are showing as being either $5 or £5, obviously depends on whether you buy in the US or the UK. They appear to be available on both Elf's US and UK website that I've seen. I'm not too sure what the retailers carry Elf in the US, but I know for me I can get it from the Elf's UK website. They do have quite an array of shades which do pique my interest. They have blacks, blues, silvers and different variations of golds, kind of rose gold, yellow gold, and they also have a coppery looking one or two as well. I can't decide which shade I like the best. I think if I was buying this without already having an Essence liquid eyeshadow, I would definitely go for one of the more golder ones. And I also actually have a silver one from BH Cosmetics that kind of draws the silver out. But I do like that they do have 2 different types of silver. There is a kind of more, maybe like dirty silver, I would say. And then they have also a more white silver. There's one called 24 karat gold, which I think is the more yellow gold, which looks really nice. They also have Flirty Birdie, which I think is the rose gold one, which again looks really nice. And then they have one which is either called Disco Queen or Dirty Martini, which kind of looks like an antique bronze shade, which again looks really nice. With only being £5 each, it is really great value and I would definitely be interested in picking one of these up. So I think next time I place an order on Elf's website, I will pop one of these in my cart just to give them a go. Next we have a new release from Makeup Revolution. Makeup Revolution are kind of mainly known for their dupes and their cutesy packaging. This new release falls into the cutesy packaging range. They have a few new palettes that they are releasing which are shaped like teddy bears and they all have names. We have Honey, which is warm brown and golden hues. Rosy, which is pink, pops of colour and bronze shades. Jet, which is cool, neutral and earthy tones. And then Lulu, which is bright pops of colour. Really super cute packaging. Eyeshadow wise, it's going to be sort of across the board as Makeup Revolution can be, which is a bit hit or miss. I do have 2 of their, I think they'll call their Treasures eyeshadow palettes. One is a shell and one is a heart. Definitely purchase them for the packaging. The formula in one is better than the other, which considering they're from the same range shouldn't be the case. And I say these are probably going to be around the same level. These retail for $15 in the States and £10 here. We can get them on Makeup Revolution direct, which I think is the case for the US and here. And I've also seen them on the Superdrug's website as well. It does say they are online only, so I wouldn't expect to see them in Superdrug stores, but I say they are available online. £10 isn't a bad price, especially if you are kind of drawn into packaging and would maybe like to collect them because they would look quite nice lined up. With regards to the colour schemes, I'm probably most drawn to the brown toned one, which is Honey. I don't mind the look of the pink one, but I think there's quite a few brighter pinks in that, which I'm not struck on. Definitely not keen on the bright one at all. I wouldn't get any use out of that. And then the cool toned one, which is Jet, cool, neutral and earthy tones. This one looks quite nice, but I don't reach for darker shades an awful lot. So the brown one is definitely the one that I would look into. I would be tempted to see these in person, but with them being online only, I can't. I just think they're going to be really impractical to store unless you are kind of having them out on show. So it's a nice idea, maybe appealing to someone a bit younger. They might be quite a nice stocking filler if you have got someone younger who does wear makeup that isn't your typical kind of 14-year-old, has a better makeup collection and is better at applying makeup than me, for example. If you do have someone a bit younger, they might be quite cute. If my daughter was a bit older, something like that she would love. So it's a nice idea, perfect time of the year to bring it out because it is a great stocking filler, but just not for me personally. Then on to Colourpop. And for anyone who watches these kind of videos or any makeup videos, to be honest, will know that Colourpop release a lot of products at a fast pace. So this, I say, I only went back a week or two on Trend Mood, and I have 3 separate releases that I've seen and want to talk about. The first one is the Bare Necessities palette. This is a £30 eyeshadow palette which is mattes and shimmers. This was at the price of $30, which I believe may have only been for Black Friday. Checked on Colourpop's website yesterday, the price still hadn't gone up, but I remember them advertising a lot to say get it for $30 while it's $30. So I don't know what price this is going to go up to. If with it being £30, they're going to put it to the price that the So Jaded palette was at, which I think was $39, I presume that might be the case. It's a really nice eyeshadow palette. Definitely not one I need in my collection because I do have neutral shades over a multitude of different eyeshadow palettes. But if you are someone that is starting out and possibly just looking to have one eyeshadow palette that you can do a multitude of different looks from, probably do day to night with the gradients of levels of browns in there and things, I would say this is ideal to pick up. Okay for Colourpop, if it does go up to the sort of £39 range, it is £39, $39 even. If it does go up to that price range, it is quite pricey for Colourpop, but you are getting 30 shades, so you're paying not much more than $1 a shade. And I do really like Colourpop's formula. There's not many palettes that I've tried from them that I didn't really like the formula of. Can't speak with regard to these bigger palettes as I've not tried them. But I would definitely be tempted by this if I was just starting out, but it's definitely not something that I feel there is a place for it in my collection, but it is a really nice palette. Then they have a set of 3 butterfly palettes. They did recently release a main, I think it's called the Flutterby palette, which did look really pretty, and I did actually try to buy that in their Black Friday sales, but it was out of stock. All their products did have 30% off over Black Friday, so that one went down to I think it's about $12, and I did actually want to purchase that because the shades in that look really nice. But I didn't manage to get my hands on it, which I'm taking as a sign I don't need it, which I don't. But I've since seen that they've released 3 other eyeshadow palettes. I don't know if these are exclusive to Ulta. It does say Ulta on the Trend Mood post. I think they did have a palette not that long ago, which was it Truly Madly something or other, and I think that was an Ulta exclusive, but now that one is on their website. So maybe it's just going to be an Ulta exclusive for a little while and then it will eventually appear on Colourpop. I have 3 different palettes which I've conveniently cut the name off on my screenshot, so I can't see the individual names of them. But there is one that contains peaches and pinks and kind of pale looking colours with some browns and some golds in it. There's also one that looks like a slightly darker palette which has kind of purples and reds and sort of black and chocolate brown in it. And then there's a third one which is quite similar to the first one, but it has kind of more orangey red tones in it. For me personally, there's not one of them that I'm like, yes, I definitely have to have. And I think that's because I prefer the Flutterby palette, or whatever it's called. I don't think any of these jump out at me. If I was going to have to pick one, I'd probably say the one with the pink packaging, but yeah, none of these are just, I have to have my hands on them. I did side eye them, but definitely not something that I have to purchase. I'd rather just keep an eye on the Flutterby palette coming back. The price of these is $18 each. They do seem to be creeping up in price now. I've noticed recently the Colourpop palettes, they're £16, I think used to be $16, and now they are creeping up to sort of $16, $20. The limited edition palettes, like the Disney ones, used to be $20 and now they're kind of $22, so things are creeping up in price. Overall, it's still a pretty affordable brand, but yeah, I think I'm going to pass on these 3 eyeshadow palettes. Then on to Colourpop's holiday range, which was available as of Monday the 2nd of December, and the theme of this is good as gold. Very sparkly, very shimmery, very gold, which to me is very festive, so I do quite like where they're going with this one. So in this collection there is an eyeshadow palette, which is $18. There is a lipstick duo. There's a couple of lipstick duos which are $12 each. There is some metallic liquid liners which are $9 each, and there are some false lashes which are $8 each. Straight off the bat, the false lashes don't appeal to me. I keep saying I'm going to give them another go, but I just know I can't apply them properly, so I'm not even going to bother with that. The metallic liquid liners, I don't tend to go for liner at the best of times, and I normally struggle with metallic liners, so this one doesn't appeal to me either. The lipstick duos comes with a Luxe lipstick and a lippy pencil. This was something I would have been drawn to, but having recently tried the lippy pencils and knowing that it's a step that I cannot be bothered with, these would probably be a waste of money because I'd only use the Luxe lipstick and I can buy them on their own. I do believe they are new shades that they have because I don't recognise the names of any of them at all. The shades look quite nice, but I just know the set itself would be a waste, but I would be intrigued if they did put those lipsticks for separate sale once the holidays are over maybe, because they do look like nice shades. With regards to the eyeshadow palette, again it's $18 as with the previous ones I mentioned, which seems to be Colourpop's now standard price for their £16 palettes. This one is really nice. It does obviously give me kind of feels of the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette and also Colourpop's own honey palette that they released, which was the Honey palette. It doesn't sound as cool with a British accent as it does with an American accent. There's a lot of different variations of gold in there, mostly looking like shimmer shades. You've got a kind of pale gold, white gold maybe, champagne, warm gold, a rose gold, and then what looks like a true gold. So definitely they've covered everything there with regards to different shades of gold that you can get. There's also a few mattes in there, being a chocolate brown, a kind of warm brown, looks like a nice matte cream in there as well, and then a black shade. So it is definitely one that does appeal to me, but I don't tend to wear true gold kind of eyeshadow an awful lot, and I would only lean towards maybe the champagne and the paler gold shades in it. So I'm really on the fence with this one. I think it would be really nice over Christmas, and if you are going to a lot of Christmas parties and things like that, it would be a really nice palette to reach into. But for me, for an everyday kind of thing, I've got different variations of golds in the different palettes that I've got, so I definitely don't need it. It's a really nice palette, and I do like the whole aesthetic of the collection as a whole, with gold being kind of Christmassy feeling. Sorry, I keep messing with my hair because I don't know if you can tell, but I've had quite a bit of it chopped off and it is sitting awkwardly in my face, so it needs to go behind there for now and hopefully stay out of my way because I forgot to put a clip in. Next we have some releases from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. First of all, we have his 5th anniversary liquid lipstick set, which is obviously like a holiday set as well. So the complete set is $75, but it does say all 5 shades will be individually on sale for $18. Having looked at the names of some of the liquid lipsticks, I believe that at least 3 of them are just normal shades that he has on sale anyway. He's just put the holiday packaging on them. We have a white shade, which is Drug Lord, a pink shade, which is Doll Parts, a kind of greyish pink, which is called Androgyny, which is a shade that I had in the mini, so I know that one's definitely a normal release, and I think Doll Parts and Drug Lord are as well. And then just to brighten things up, we have a green shade, which is called Mistletoe, and then a red, which is called Ho Ho Ho. So I do really like that. That is properly Christmassy with the red and the green. And I do also believe as well that his liquid lipstick formula is eye safe, so you could use these on your eyes if you are wanting the pure green or pure red for colour. I do really like the formula of his liquid lipsticks. I think they are really comfortable and super long lasting. None of these shades here appeal to me really. Androgyny is probably the one I used least from the nude set that I got in the minis last year. Or was it this year? I can't remember. because it is more of a grey toned one, which I don't tend to go for. Doll Parts is a really nice shade. It's just that little bit too bright a pink for my personal preference. But if you do like your kind of more out there shades, this might be the set for you, or you can purchase them separately if just one or two draw you in. Then we have a re-release of the Mini Controversy palette. This was one that was released recently and obviously sold out in probably seconds. And when they filmed the series of this, which is Jeffree StarxShane Dawson, they did swatch this bright green shade, like a kind of, imagine like a shamrock green, like really, really bright. And so many people, when that episode of the series was released, were saying, bring this shade back, it's gorgeous, why did you take it out, we want this shade. So it looks like they're putting it back in, and they're actually calling it Put It Back, which I think is quite funny. So I presume that both palettes are going to be available at the same time. You can pick whether you want the green one or the original shade, which I can't remember now what the original shade was that it's replacing, because it looks like this green is going to be the middle shade. I think that might have just been a brown shade now I think about it. This isn't going to be available until March, which I think is when they're due to do a restock of the Controversy palette and the Conspiracy palette anyway, so they're probably just adding this to the production line. I think the price of this is about $27, but it does actually say here the green shade will be available individually, which I think is great, especially if you've already bought the Mini Controversy palette. You don't want to have to buy a whole new one just to get that green shade, although maybe by March you've made a good dent in your existing one and want to buy a whole new one anyway. But I do like that they have done that. They've kind of listened to everyone and they're bringing the shade in. The Mini Controversy palette didn't really appeal to me when it was in its original state, or with this new green shade in. The Conspiracy palette I think has more got shades in that I will make use of. I do like that the top row in that is kind of a neutral palette, but Jeffree Star's palettes are quite high priced. I know you do get a lot of product in them, but I didn't have funds at the time that they got released to make the purchase, and even though I know it is a permanent product and it is going to keep coming back, it is one that I do keep side-eyeing, but I just don't think I need it. But again, I would quite like to try Jeffree Star's formula. So I'm on the fence about the Conspiracy palette, but definitely for the Controversy palette, both ways that it is, it's not my cup of tea. Next, we have a release from a new beauty line, which is from the singer Kesha. This is the Kesha Rose makeup line. She is bringing out an eyeshadow palette, a dual-ended eyeliner, a red lipstick and lip gloss duo, and then a complete set of it all. The eyeshadow palette is $36, which is 12 matte, and then on the Trend Mood post it says wet/dry. I don't know what that means, and then shimmery and glittery shades. So I don't know what it means about the wet mattes. I've not looked into it more than this. Then the dual-ended eyeliner is $28. It just says one side is black, so I don't know what's on the other one. The red lipstick and lip gloss duo is $26, and the complete set is $120, which does come in a collector's box. I quite like the packaging design that she's gone for. It's kind of like a purple orange moon with clouds, and it's quite nice and sort of dreamy, as I imagine she would kind of like, because she does like kind of boho chic with her dresses and stuff. The shades in the eyeshadow palette itself are a bit too, not all over the place, because it does have quite a broad spectrum of colours in it, but when I look at the colour story I just don't have any inspiration as to what I could do with that. There are a few bright shades in there. There's like a bright yellow, a green, there's a lime green in there as well, pinks, orange, reds, and then there's sort of a baby pink, a silver. It's a bit of a mishmash of colours. The green in there does look pretty unique. It's not your kind of standard green that you tend to get in palettes. I can't describe the shade of green that it is, but it just to me seems quite unique, so I do quite like that. But overall it just doesn't really call to me. She's obviously jumping on the bandwagon, like another singer can now release a beauty line, and she will have a lot of fans out there who will purchase things from this line, but for me personally it's not for me. Speaking of singers who have beauty lines, the next release is from Haus Laboratories, which is Lady Gaga's beauty line. She had a release a couple of months ago, which was for liquid eyeshadows, lip products and things like that. She is now releasing an eyeshadow palette. There aren't many details about this, if any at all. It just says that there's going to be an eyeshadow palette and liquid eyeliner and more. It doesn't say anything else, just coming soon, which will be available on Amazon. The eyeshadow palette itself does look really pretty, but my prediction price wise is it's going to be $50 something, based on the fact that the lip duos and eyeshadow duos and things were kind of the $20-30 range, if I remember rightly. I do think she's going to kind of price the eyeshadow palette in the $50, maybe $60 price range, which is up there, but a lot of people will probably buy it. I know the reviews on the previous release were a bit hit and miss, so maybe people will be a bit more wary, but I do like the shades that she's chosen for this palette. It is a more everyday palette, but can be a kind of smoky palette. You've got a sort of cream, some pinks, some light browns, mauves, purples, some bronze and black. It is quite a neutral palette. I suppose people are going to say what they said similarly to the other release with the liquid eyeshadows. They did expect more out there colours with Lady Gaga. But I think as of late, she has been a bit more kind of classy with her dress sense and less out there and more kind of couture looking than meat dress, basically. So I do think it does kind of fit with the aesthetic that she's going with this beauty line, in that it's kind of sleek, dark, moody, sultry kind of thing. But I just think it's going to be outpriced for me personally. But I don't know, I say there's no details as of yet, but my prediction is it's going to be kind of the $50-60 price range. But hopefully there will be more details when I do my next Will I Buy It, because I will definitely update on that one. Then we have a couple of releases from Physicians Formula. The first is an eyeshadow palette which I know was released a month or so ago, but I do think it was exclusive to, I want to say, Walgreens. That's the Rose All Play eyeshadow palette. Includes 12 shades and is $17.99. It does look like such a pretty palette. I really like the kind of imprint of the rose on the shadows. I know that won't last forever, but it looks nice anyway. But it's nice, neutral palette, and it doesn't look too intimidating, and it's not kind of as big as the Colourpop Bare Necessities palette. And this one does speak to me, if I'm honest. For $18 as well, I would definitely be willing to give it a go. It does say release details wise that it's going to be some point in December on their website. We have only recently actually got access to Physicians Formula, and that is through the website Feel Unique, but they do have very limited products on there, so I can't imagine we're going to get this eyeshadow palette anytime soon, but hopefully it does eventually work its way over here, because I would definitely be keen to try that. And then one of their other releases is a Rose All Day Set and Glow, which is an illuminating setting powder and dewy balm duo, which is a mouthful. It says smells like roses. I'm really intrigued by this. It says there's a balm and then a powder section, so I don't get how it works, because I can't imagine you could use a balm to set your face. But there's an illuminating setting powder, which, okay, isn't my personal preference, but I suppose you could maybe use it as a highlighter. It looks like they have a few different shades, and there are some really nice neutral sort of pinky rose shades there. I'm just really intrigued by the balm section of it, so once they release more details on that, that's something again I'll definitely look into. The price for this is $15.99, which is kind of average for Physicians Formula. That's why I think the eyeshadow palette for $18 is pretty good value. Next thing we have is from Pat McGrath, and this is for basically anyone who's a Star Wars fan. Pat McGrath have collaborated with Star Wars to bring out a makeup collection. Not a lot of words together that I thought I would say. Okay, if any brand would possibly spring to mind when thinking of Star Wars, it would probably be Pat McGrath. But obviously with Pat McGrath, their prices are up there definitely, and looking at the prices that are listed here, that looks about right. The first thing we have is a Galactic Gold palette, which I presume is the R2, not R2-D2, the other one, C-3PO. I know which one's which, but I always get their names mixed up. So I presume the gold palette is going to be the C-3PO one. That one is $65. Now that is only a £6 palette, but it does look really pretty, and swatches have since been released and they do look really nice. The metallics do look quite blinding. The palette contains a few different variations of gold. There's kind of a maroony shimmer in there and a couple of purple shades, so it does look really pretty, but $65 is more than $10 a shade, so that is really pricey. The other variation of this is the Mothership Star Wars Dark Galaxy palette, which again is $65. This one is, it looks like a red stormtrooper, but I don't think it is. I don't think I've actually seen the last Star Wars film. I do really like Star Wars, but I wouldn't class myself as a Star Wars fan. And I don't think I went to pictures to see the last one before the one that's coming out now. And then I've just never got around to watching it. So I'm not kind of up there on my Star Wars information. I've seen pictures going around of little young Yoda, which I did think was from the new Star Wars film. Turns out it's from a TV series called The Mandalorian. So I think I'm more intrigued to watch that because I want to see cute baby Yoda as opposed to the new film. Back to makeup. The bigger eyeshadow palette they're releasing is the Mothership 4 Decadent palette, Star Wars edition, and this is $125. So you are kind of up there with sort of Natasha Denona prices, which I do think Pat McGrath prices are anyway, but I could never spend that amount of money on an eyeshadow palette. I think even if I was a millionaire, I'd struggle to spend that amount of money on an eyeshadow palette. We have some lip products, which when I first looked at them, I thought they were lipsticks, especially after seeing the price of $40. I believe Pat McGrath's lipsticks are around the $40 range anyway, so I did think they were going to be lipsticks, but they are actually lip balms. So lip balm for $40. I just can't fathom that. I barely spend £4 or $4, whatever it is, on a lip balm. I just can't. If it makes your lips feel like the softest skin in the world, then okay. But and I don't think she's necessarily priced the lip balms at that price because they're Star Wars. I think if she released lip balm in a normal ranges, she would make them $40. Sorry, that was a bit of a crazy rant about makeup prices. Packaging wise, the lip balms are stunning. I really love the R2-D2 one with the kind of blue lips with the little red dot eye thing on it. So overall, I like the aesthetic of the collection, but it is definitely up there on price. So if you are a huge fan of Star Wars and love makeup, it may be for you. With regards to release date, there's just say coming soon, possibly mid-December. So it is probably going to be in line with the film, which I think's due to be released around the 20-something of December. Interestingly, even though the prices quoted on Trendmood are in dollars, it does say it will be first available in the UK on Selfridges. I didn't know Selfridges sold Pat McGrath, and I also don't know what these prices are going to be in the UK. I did have a look on the Selfridges website before filming and I couldn't see any reference to them at all, so I don't know what any of the UK prices are going to be. Next we have a couple of new releases from Too Faced. This is from their Hangover range. They are bringing out a Hangover Wash the Day Away Gentle Foaming Cleanser, a Hangover Pillow Balm Lip Treatment, and a Hangover Pillow Cream Nourishing Night Cream. There's no release date or prices of these yet, but obviously being Too Faced, you're probably looking around the kind of £20 or £30 range for these. I am really intrigued, if I'm honest. I've not tried anything from their Hangover range before, but I like the idea of a lip treatment and I do like the idea of the night cream. So these are things that once they are released, I would be tempted to kind of nip down to Debenhams and see what they're about. I'm definitely side-eyed by them, and normally I kind of don't look at Too Faced skincare, but for some reason these did catch my eye, so intrigued to find out more about them. Then we have a new eyeshadow palette from Morphe, and this is in collaboration with Manny MUA. This is the Glam Face palette, which includes eyeshadows and highlighters. It is only $20, which I don't think is too bad. It is a very neutral palette, but it does kind of draw my eye. When I was scrolling down Trendmood, I did actually stop at this before seeing who it was. I didn't know who it was. I couldn't make it a prediction, but I think it did look really pretty, and say $20 isn't too bad a price. This one was available as of yesterday on Morphe. You can use the code Trendmood for 10% off on Morphe. It does also have a favourites brush set, which is $48. I've tried a couple of Morphe brushes and I do really like them, but I think I don't like to buy brush sets anymore really. I do tend to just prefer to buy individual brushes now. Next we have a release from Drunk Elephant. This is a F-Balm Super Moisturising Overnight Face Mask. It helps maintain the integrity of your superficial skin layers by maintaining healthy and plump skin. This one is going to retail for $52 and will be available from January 1st. I have been dying to try something from Drunk Elephant, but it is a really pricey skincare brand, and I'm quite stingy when it comes to my skincare. I don't notice any difference to my skin between the high-end and the drugstore. Don't get me wrong, I do have a few high-end favourites like my eye creams, both of which are high-end, but overall moisturisers and things like that, I just don't notice any difference paying that extra money. I have heard such amazing things from most of the Drunk Elephant range, and I do know that it is a kind of staple in a lot of people's skincare routines, which is kind of why I would like to try something. I just don't think I could ever spend $52. I really do look at the holidays at the gift sets they do have, because it's a few different minis of a few different products, but I just can't quite bite the bullet and spend that amount. If it was like $22, I would in a heartbeat give this a go, because it does sound quite interesting with it being a balm and an overnight kind of thing. But yeah, just $52 does really put me off. And then finally we have the release of the KKW Beauty holiday collection. I think this is the holiday collection, and this is available December 6th, which is today. There is a Glitz and Glam eyeshadow palette, which is $30. The Glitz and Glam glosses, which are $18 each, or $42 for the trio. A matte lipstick set, which is $65. A lip liner, which is $12. Then a gloss and lip liner bundle, which is $28. And finally a rose gold skin perfecting body shimmer, which is $35. No, there's more, sorry. There's also a rose gold loose shimmer powder for face and body, which is $27. And then a rose gold liquid and powder shimmer with brush, which is $90. Why is there such a jump from like $30 to $90? I'm going to put it out there straight away. The Kardashians have enough money as it is. They do not need me to fund their lavish lifestyle anymore. But because it was the last thing that popped up on Trendmood just as I was doing all my screenshots, I felt like I had to mention it, and it is the latest release because it is releasing today. The eyeshadow palette for $30. I know it's only £6, but I don't think that's too bad. I did think that the price would be higher for that. I don't know in comparison to Kylie Beauty, because I do tend to just skip past them on Trendmood as well. The shades that are in the palette, it does say there is a metallic creamy white with gold flip, a metallic icy silver, a metallic honey gold, a metallic neutral brown shimmer, a matte deep plum with magenta sparkle, and then a matte smouldering black with gold sparkle. So there doesn't appear to be any true mattes in there. There is some elements of sequin or shimmer in every single shade. Obviously there's only 6 of them. Colour wise, it is a nice palette, but I say the Kardashians do not need my money, so I wouldn't purchase that. I was drawn in by the shades of the lipstick until I seen their price. I can't see the price of them individually. I can only see the price of the set, which is $65. That is for 4 lipsticks. I can't do the math of how much that is each, but they are 90s themed based on the name. You've got 90s Supermodel, which is a warm pinky nude, 90s Vogue, which is a deep cool tone burgundy, 90s Fashion, which is a warm mocha nude, and then 90s Moment, which is a mid-tone pinky nude. So the shades are really nice, but I just wouldn't be able to spend $65 on them. But that's it for the latest releases that I have to discuss with you today. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.